Hi! Ako po si Mike Francisco at ito po ang Litrato Philippines. Mapapanood niyo mo kami dito lang sa Radyo Bandido TV, simulcast on DCRD 8:10 AM at sa Sky Cable Channel 224 and digital boxes and free-to-air TV at sa aming social media account, facebook.com/DCRD 8:10 AM at ang aming official YouTube channel. Kaya subscribe, like, and follow and share. See you there! Ayan, magandang gabi po sa lahat po nanonood ng Litrato Philippines at araw po ng Biyernes, no? July 21, no? And I don't know if still already it's already July 21 also in Ireland. Later on, but anyway, later on we will introduce our guests. But before we do that, we would like to invite everyone to watch Litrato Philippines. You can watch us live by Sky Cable Channel 224 at sa lahat po ng TV boxes and DTT boxes nationwide. At syempre, mapapakinggan nyo rin po kami sa aming kalapitan, DCRJ 10 AM at sa aming social media account, facebook.com/DCRJ 10 AM at sa aming YouTube channel, DCRJ 10 AM, Radyo Bandido TV. At meron din po kaming apps, no? From other countries to listen, no? To our apps while driving or while they're at work. No, they can download the app, Streama apps and Radio Garden app, and search DCRJ 10 AM. You can hear us all over the world. No, so we are live on television and radio as well, and also in our social media account, Facebook and YouTube, and of course in our apps. No, so there's nothing more to miss. No. Our Miss Earth Ireland. Anyway, later on, before we introduce our guest, I would like to introduce first my co-host, Miss 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗽𝗶𝗀, no, Liboli from Australia, no, Miss Philippines Earth Fire, no, from Australia. Hi, 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗽, good evening.
Hi everybody, mabuhay to everybody who's watching.
Ayan, no, and 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶 will be my co-host today and help me, no, to introduce or to interview as well, no, our Miss Earth Ireland. But before we do that, earlier this day, no, I came from the Metro Manila Development Authority or MMDA, and they have a good news, no. They received around 21 motorcycles for their MMDA Motorcycle Academy. No, oo. And bago natin before we introduce our guest, I would like you to watch first my report. MMDA, no, pumirma ng MOA para maibigay ang tulong sa trainer para sa Motorcycle Riding Academy. Pakinggan natin ang aking report from MMDA. Ito po. Nilagdaan ngayong araw ng MMDA at Honda Philippines Incorporated ang Memorandum of Agreement na magsusulong sa road safety awareness at magbibigay ng technical assistance sa mga trainers sa Motorcycle Riding Academy ng ahensya sa Pasig City. Sinabi ni MMDA Acting Chairman Attorney Don Artes kay HPI President Sayaka Aray Kotori ang kanyang pasasalamat sa Honda Philippines sa kanilang mahalagang kontribusyon at suporta sa kapaunlad ng MMDA Motorcycle Riding Academy. Sa ilalim ng partnership, ang HPI sa pamamagitan ng HSDC ay magsasagawa ng road safety awareness upang pausahin ang antas ng kasaysayan ng mga MMDA enforcer upang maging full-time na instructor. Gayun din ang pagre-repaso ng MMDA motorcycle training modules at ihanay ang mga motorcycle training modules ng HSDC. Bukod dito, magdodonate ang Honda Philippines ng paunang 21 motorcycle units para sa pagsasagawa ng practical na pagsasanay ng mga kalahok sa Motorcycle Riding Academy at nakatakda na magbigay ng kabuuang 50 motorsiklo ngayong buwan. Mula dito sa Pasig City, ako si Mike Francisco nag-uulat para sa DCRJ 10 AM, ang Radyo Bandido. Ayan, no? So, you've seen my report earlier. That I covered around afternoon earlier this day. Anyway, no, let's introduce our guest first, no? But 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗽, would you like to introduce our guest for today? Go ahead.
Sure. So our guest here is 𝗟𝗟𝗶𝘶𝗶𝗽𝗶𝗽, Miss Earth Island 2023. So Layla is a 21-year-old from scenic Donegal and is a student currently on a gap year and hoping to study accounting while currently working in both retail and the modeling industry. And alongside her advocacy, which works towards the microcrisis in Donegal, Layla wowed the judges with her passion to make a change for the better and was crowned the new Miss Earth Island. And in 2023, Layla has been raising a lot of awareness around the Mica crisis in her hometown as she feels there isn't enough known about it. Mica is a mineral that has been detected in thousands of homes in Donegal that causes the structures to crumble, leaving them to be extremely unsafe. So with her advocacy being so close to her heart and also living in a Mica home herself, Layla couldn't stop thinking about the awful demolition process that a lot of the families will have to go through. So she took inspiration from these families and how they're recycling their housing materials, which stirred a desire in her to advocate and be a voice for those affected. So in her time as Miss Earth Ireland, Layla hopes to educate people by highlighting sustainable building, sourcing eco-friendly materials, and waste management on construction sites. And Layla is delighted and honoured to represent Donegal and the whole of Ireland later this year at the International Miss Earth in Vienna.
Oh, yeah, that's it. No, so hi, Leila. Good evening. Good
Hello.
afternoon. I'm sorry. Good evening in the Philippines and
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon. No, in the afternoon in your country in Ireland. Anyway, how are you today, Leila? That's what we call you, Leila.
Leila, yeah, I'm very, very good. I'm actually just finished work now, so this is something to definitely look forward to after a hard day. So thank you so, so much for having me, and hello to everyone at home.
Yeah. So anyway, I know everybody here in the Philippines know Ireland as, has a good landscape, best Instagrammable picture to be with, something like that. But can you tell us more about Ireland so that when we visit there, what are the places would you recommend to visit, and what are the foods, that you would recommend as well for us to be delighted when we visit your country? At the same time, can you tell us some culture of yours so that some people will know some background of your country, Ireland? Go ahead, Leila.
So growing up in Ireland, I definitely had the happiest childhood ever. So an awful lot of the time was spent outdoors. So I actually come from a farming background, and if you ever get the pleasure to visit Ireland, it's very rural. It's surrounded by lots of green fields and farming. You'll see an awful lot of wildlife. There's an awful lot of islands outside of the country that are actually nature sanctuaries. So you hear an awful lot of stereotypes that we have like leprechauns and we're always drunk and like the stereotypical stuff that just isn't true. It's more for a bit of fun. But definitely our culture sometimes would be like for everyone to gather. And usually it could be like a pub, but with the 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗽𝗶. So usually you have Irish traditional music. You have a thing called a jive, which is like not so much an Irish dance. It's a dance with a partner. We listen to country music. The food is usually, well, I call them spuds. You usually call them potatoes. They're like roast beef dinners. Everything is very like cozy and homely. Where I live in Donegal is 4 hours away from the capital, but we're extremely coastal. It's called the Wild Atlantic Way, which is the whole coastline of Ireland. There are some amazing aspects to visit. So where I live, I am 20 minutes away from the most northerly point of Ireland, which is called Malin Head. So definitely visit that. It is so scenic. You can see everything around you. There's an island called 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗃 beside me. It's about 4 miles off the ocean from where I live, and it's absolutely beautiful. I visited a couple of weeks ago. It's amazing. But the people here are so, so friendly. Everyone knows each other, and there's a great sense of community in this country. So like where I live, like I'm the shopkeeper, but I know everyone and everyone knows me. We all know what's going on. And yeah, it's just a really, really lovely place to live.
Sorry, did you already visited Ireland? Not yet.
No, I've never had the opportunity to, but from Layla's descriptions, I feel like I would love to come along and, maybe have her as my tour guide.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, yesterday when I was talking to Leila, she is in her work. Are you in your work as of now?
Yes, I just finished work at 3 o'clock and I ran upstairs into my interview.
So, what is your work in Ireland?
So I currently at the minute I was studying pharmaceuticals for 2 years and I kind of had a tough year, so I took a year out and it couldn't have been a better year because I won Miss Earth Ireland. But I found this job in my town. It's a local shop, so we sell groceries. So I'm dealing with the public and the local community every single day. So the shop itself is actually called Maple and they're a chain of shops in Donegal. But they're really trying this year to become more sustainable and eco-friendly. So in my time of being here, the shop has installed like solar panels. They've stopped selling like solid fuels. They've actually switched them to more economically friendly, easier burned fuels. But yeah, we just ran up the stairs. It's been a very, very busy day.
How do you balance your being a Queen Miss Earth Ireland and your work at the same time?
So I'm extremely lucky that where I work, my boss and the people I work for are so excited for me. They love this completely. So they push me an awful lot. They try to give me my best chance. So it's like if I ever need a day off or any time to go somewhere, they're like, yeah, do it, go for it. They really do give me my best shot at it. But I love it and I balance it and I put my all into it. It's what I'm interested in. And I think if you love doing something, you have absolutely no problem doing it whatsoever.
Shauri, do you have any question about her work profile? Anything before we proceed to another question?
So you said that you're often talking to a lot of the community. Do you enjoy being able to do that, and how do you find that benefits you?
So I often feel that it's benefited my confidence greatly with speaking to people. So I've worked here now probably, I would say about for 2 years now. And since then I've actually grown to know an awful lot of the local community an awful lot better. So I'm dealing with them every day and you kind of get a different perspective of different people's lives through speaking to them every day. It's definitely helped develop my, like, I don't know what the word is, but my interactive skills, I think is the word. But I live in such a great wee place. Everyone is just absolutely lovely and they're lovely to me and they're very, very supportive. And when I won it, the whole village basically, went crazy. But yeah, it's a job and I love it and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Mm-hmm. And do you have next question? Do you have a next question, Shauri?
Another question for you, I'd say, is that do you find that, with being surrounded by so many people and having such a close interconnectedness with your whole village, that would give you an advantage in the competition in Vietnam regarding your communication skills?
So it definitely does help, but what I think everyone's so excited for is the mica crisis because we're like the epicenter of where this has all begun. So I definitely think that they'll help me and they'll push me and everyone is rooting for me. I couldn't have been happier with the reaction, but I definitely think it'll help me in Vietnam, just knowing that I have that support and know that I'm coming home to such a supportive village always really helps. It makes it such a positive experience.
Mm-hmm. And our next question, Leila. I know there's a lot of pageant in your country as well, Ireland. Why did you choose Miss Earth over all pageant that you have in your country?
So I have been doing pageants now for about 4 years. So it's always something I really, really enjoyed. And I got into pageants purely by mistake. So my first pageant, my mum entered me and didn't tell me. And then I got accepted by a finalist. So I was kind of thrown into it. And I had done, like the Miss Ireland selection. And it really wasn't for me. I had done Miss Earth Northern Ireland whenever I was 17 years old. And I think I wasn't as well educated as I am now. And I didn't have as much maybe common sense. But I definitely wanted to go back to it. And just with everything that's going on at home with Micah, I felt that there was no better platform you know, to raise awareness, and it really falls in line with my own values. So it's just such a great system. It's so well run. All the girls I've spoken to so far and all the delegates that have been picked are all so lovely. And the whole thing has just really been such a positive experience. I'm just so extremely grateful that I get the opportunity to do this and even be here today. This is just a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I just went for it.
Charlotte, you have additional question through her answer while she chose Miss Earth?
Yeah, another thing. My question to you regarding that previous question is that why choose the mica issue over so many other issues?
So in Ireland, where I live, we're very, very neglected sometimes because we're 4 hours away, we're very rural, we're not covered in the media an awful lot of the time. But mica, as was said, is a mineral that's causing our homes to deteriorate. Majority of the houses up here are going to be completely demolished. So it's what you have to understand is that when these houses are being rebuilt, and in a couple of years' time, if all going well and they're rebuilt, I don't want us to go backwards. I want us to go forwards, and I want to educate on sustainable building. We were covered in the media, I think, for about a week, and now we've been forgotten about and it's all gone quiet again. So I would absolutely love to raise awareness and be a voice, because our own government, for them to hear us and for them to help us out and help the people here, because it's not easy. It's affecting everyone's mental health. It's affecting people's jobs. People are moving away. It's an issue that has to be sorted for us up here to live. So I'm very, very proud to be able to speak on it, to represent the people here, but I also want to make sure that we go forward into sustainable building, that everyone is mindful that any houses here that have been demolished so far, they are reusing the materials, and everyone is very mindful of that. But it's other ways of sourcing more maybe eco-friendly materials. There's going to be an awful lot of waste on a site, you know, with them cutting up things, measuring things, you know, and there's the other techniques that the Make Action Group are actually looking into that we can go forward. So there are many different aspects, and I guess for me it's more just a personal thing, because I live in a mica house and I understand the struggle. My own house has the cracks in the walls, and we will have to change that in a couple of years, but it's definitely more of a personal thing, and I'm extremely passionate about it.
Is it part of your advocacy, that what you're telling us earlier?
Yeah.
And what makes you inspired, no? To be more aggressive with your advocacy through this platform?
So I guess the mica issue isn't just a thing that's popped up this year. It's been going on for about 10 years now, where people have been noticing that these cracks, and we're kind of realizing what has gone on. But it was an aspect that I don't think it's been shown on the world stage before, like internationally. And it's an aspect that I think it needs to be thought on, because as humans, we're constantly evolving. We're always learning. And I think it's another aspect that people should be educated on. And even to educate those from where I live that are young children now, to educate them when they're older and they go to build their own houses, or whoever their business is, to be mindful. But yeah, it's just really, really, I'm very proud to represent where I live, my hometown. So yeah.
Actually, Ireland, you call your people Irish, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, because no, I'm very familiar with one, I didn't drink any wine, no, to be honest, no. But only one wine that I can drink is from the Ireland. I think this is just Irish wine coffee, no, and then we call it Baileys. You know
Hi,
that?
Baileys. Yes, I know that very well. So Baileys, actually, we would make cheesecake out of it as well. So it can be eaten. It's made in food as well. Definitely try a Baileys cheesecake. It's great.
That was the only wine that I drink, and no more, you know.
It's very, very nice. It's very sweet. It's lovely.
Yes, aside from the wine that I mentioned earlier, what else do you think the best, you know, product that you have in Ireland that you were very proud of?
What product? There's absolutely loads of amazing businesses here in Ireland, and I think it's extremely hard to pick just one. And I think we're very, very known for our Tayto crisps. So Tato, I don't know if you have them, but they're cheese and onion flavour, which to some people is very, very weird. It's very strong, but we sell them worldwide. We ship them off to even Australia. An awful lot of, our young has gone to Australia for jobs and work and whatnot. So we'd ship them out. But I definitely think that is a company that is worldwide known and they're very famous for it. And you've Mr. Tato himself, the cartoon face of the company. But definitely Ireland has so many amazing businesses. It's hard to choose just one, but I love crisps. That's what comes to mind by now.
Shaori, if you're going to visit Ireland, what do you think is the best thing you would like to do at first? You're going to eat something or to visit this particular place. What is your first priority when you land in Ireland?
That's actually really hard to say, but I say that because, food is the way to a woman's heart, that I would start with food. Because, also from what Layla said about potato crisps, I've also had the experience of having those here because, I'm from Australia. So, probably try them from, where they originally come from and see how that goes. And then, take in all of the beautiful landscape, as she also mentioned previously.
Anyway, I do know in your country, Ireland, there's also a problem just like what we have in your country and also in Australia. Do you have any environmental issue right now, in your country, Ireland, so that you want to address to, not only to us, to the world, but also to your government? Go ahead, Leila.
So one that comes to mind, apart from the migrant crisis, I'm extremely passionate about that. Another one that comes to mind is I live 4 hours away from the capital and we don't have things like motorways or good roads, and we don't even have a great bus system, train systems. The transport system here in Donegal is quite weak. But I think another issue is everyone drives diesel and petrol fossil fuel cars. They're not great for the environment, but even the fact of everyone trying to get a bus, there isn't buses either. The transport system up north of this country needs improved massively. It's something that if I had the chance to speak to the government about, I would, because we're burning a massive amount of fossil fuels. Electric cars are in this country, they're not unheard of, but they're extremely expensive to buy. So that's why everyone does have the diesel and petrol. It's not that they're not being mindful, but they can't afford the more economically friendlier cars. But it's definitely something that needs changed. It's forgotten about. And it's even something I've struggled with myself trying to get places and I don't have a bus or train or public transport even to help a little bit. It has to always be a diesel or a petrol car, and it's just no good. It's definitely something that needs changed.
Actually, I'm always curious for those people who created electric cars, if they want to change our world into the new kind of power, aside so that we will not able to use gas already, so we will just use electric cars. Why didn't make it the electric cars cheap, for everyone to buy? That's right, no?
This is a question that we've all been asking ourselves, even to put, I don't know if it's different other places, but to get the charging port into the homes is an awful cost in itself. It's another couple of thousand on top of the price of the car to get in. And for every day-to-day life, your average person, they just can't afford it. And I don't understand. Ireland does have, I think, a plan set in place to phase out these diesel and petrol cars to become more economically friendly, but at the moment they're just not cheap.
Yeah, actually. How about you, Shaori? In your country, in Australia, there's a lot also of electric cars roaming around, and then charging stations are available everywhere as well.
Yes, there are actually quite a lot of electric cars, but not enough. And yeah, there are charging ports, but I think it really comes down to price of producing the batteries, because that's where they charge the most, because it's a really tedious process. But also the thing is that comes down with electric cars is that whether they're actually fully environmentally friendly is because of the process behind creating the batteries. So in the end, I really hope that they increase more production of electric cars, but also keep in mind that they really need to move forward to making sure that their processes are 100% sustainable.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Shauri and Leila. No, the question is why they didn't make it cheaper for us to buy so that we can shift from gas to electric. No? And I think the best thing that they can do in order all the people can afford those electric cars that we have on the road. Anyway, before we proceed to another question, I would like to ask some worldwide issue regarding El Nino, and there are some countries as well that have wildfires. No, but let's start with Leila first. Leila, before I ask Showers, actually Australia always has a wildfire. So maybe later she can share us what's happening in Australia during El Nino as well. How about you, Leila? In your what's the first? Because you're a guest, so we have our priority. So how's Ireland right now? Did they encounter some wildfires from the forest as well?
No, so actually here in Ireland we get very few forest fires, which we're very lucky with. At the same time, I think there was a summer maybe about 2 years ago, very close to home. It was actually the moss on the hills was burning quite rapidly, and people had to evacuate their homes. But that was the only time I can think on. The climate here in Ireland, it rains majority of the time. We do get quite nice breaks for maybe about a month, but then after that, it can just rain. It can be quite cold. The ground doesn't really dry up so much for these wildfires. It's just something we encounter if we get maybe a heat wave the very odd time. But for the most part, it just rains all the time.
But of course, your country are preparing for this scenario if ever it's happened again, no? Like what you said, no? That's what's happened around a few years ago. So I think there's contingency plan from the government to attend to the issue of El Nino phenomenon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't hear. There's a lorry drove past.
Okay. Okay. Let's ask also Shari, because in Australia there's always, I heard, a wildfire even there's no El Nino. So how is it, Shari, in your country as of now?
As of now, I haven't heard of any bushfires, which is great because there's a lot of fauna here that's very endangered, and we really need to keep in check so they can continue thriving. However, one of the worst bushfires, if I can recall, in Australian history was, I believe, in 2009, and it was called Black Saturday. I think it was so bad that it caused such outreach in the media that the whole world saw it. And it kind of was the rage and the roar. And I remember that we had to wear face masks. This was before COVID. So we were continually surrounded by black ash and fog. And a lot of people had to leave their homes. And also, I actually had experience with one of my teachers talking to me about his experience with it, saying that he actually saw his surroundings all engulfed in red flames and the sky changed color. It was very scary. So yeah, other than that, that's the one bushfire I can recall in Australia.
Anyway, I hope everything will be normal and shift from the regular weather that we have all over the world, no? Because is it sad, no, that the temperatures are getting hot and hotter from other country while the other country has lots of rain. Lucky for them, but definitely it's also not good, no, when always raining for actually for a month or continuous raining is not a good thing, no. Anyway, let's proceed to another question with Leila. Leila, I know that you are preparing much, no, for Miss Earth, no? Can we ask what are the preparation that you are having right now so that we know, no, or your fans know what you're doing to prepare for the Miss Earth 2023 in Vietnam?
So I am going to give it everything. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm so grateful that I got it. But my preparations have started. So last year's winner, Alana from Ireland, as you'll all know, I have big shoes to fill. She was absolutely amazing. She's actually currently in Australia at the minute. So I'm waiting for her to come home in August to help me with my catwalk training. But apart from that, at home, I have been starting the gym because I want to feel my absolute best whenever I'm on that stage. I want to give it everything. I can't wait for the adrenaline rush. But I'm every day educating myself. There's an awful lot of topics and aspects that I had never thought on that I'm learning from the other delegates, which is really, really amazing. Every single one of them is absolutely smashing it. But preparations have started, but the real preparation will start whenever I get Alana home and she can teach me.
So, as of now, no, you're preparing, and your people, you're not going to other country to train. You're going to train in your own country. That's right.
Yeah. Yes, I am definitely.
With your friends and trainers, no, who help you for this particular pageant. How about the diet? This is hard for you to have a daily diet for you to be very firm and very sexy on the incoming Miss Earth 2023.
Well, do you know what? Don't get me wrong, I love chocolate and crisps, and I will still eat them, but I'm making a very, very conscious effort to just give this everything I have. I just want to feel absolutely amazing up on that stage. But the diet has started, but I'm all for body positive. Like, you don't have to be skinny to feel good, but I definitely just myself, for my own head, I just want to feel good. So I feel that I should eat good food, feel good. Yes.
That's a good answer. Anyway, Shaori, do you have any other question about your preparation as well?
For you, what do you think will be the hardest part of your preparation?
Maybe my fitness. That's a hard one because I'm loving every single aspect so far, but I think it might be my fitness. I've started the gym. I'm, trying to get in shape, but for me, I'm not really interested in sports. I do look at them, but it's just not a passion of mine. So I find maybe the fitness side a little bit tougher. I am on the go an awful lot, even with work. We carry big heavy cases and that type of a thing, but it's a hard one to answer because every aspect is just so lovely to do, and it's not hard work when you love what you're doing.
And Shaori, we have next question for Leila.
Yeah, sure. So when you embark on a journey in Vietnam, what is the first thing you want to do when you step out of the airport?
I think what is going to, hit me the most is Ireland can be really cold. So it'll be so nice to feel some warm air whenever I get off that plane, because it'll be November time. It will be extremely cold here. But I'm definitely so excited to look at the landscape of Vietnam. I've seen some amazing pictures and videos, and what I've heard from fans, I'm so excited to just see it, because it'll be such a different landscape to hear from Ireland. Ireland can be sometimes a little hilly, but sometimes it's just often green fields everywhere. So I'm very, very excited to visit, and obviously to meet the fans and the people and everyone who's been messaging me and being supportive. I just can't wait to visit.
Can I ask also your expectation from this pageant, including from other girls that you will going to meet? What are your expectations for Miss Earth 2023?
So it's hard to judge because I'm up against such amazing women. They're all smashing it and they're giving it their all. I think I would have to get back to you on that one with my expectations of it, because sometimes it's hard to judge when you are a contestant yourself, and I don't want to bring anybody else down and saying so. but I'm very, very excited. So far, the whole thing has been so well run, and we as contestants are so well looked after. But yeah, this is definitely an experience that I'll never forget, and I just can't wait to get stuck in. So yeah.
In your country, Ireland, no? Is your people love to support pageant as well, just like what we have here in the Philippines? Actually, in Philippines, even when they love the person, even they are not from Philippines, they will support it. They will love it. No, actually, that's their I don't know doing, no, in order to promote someone and loving someone through pageant. So they love pageant here in the Philippines. No, how about you in Ireland?
So in Ireland, pageants aren't really heard of. They're not the normal thing to kind of do. So for me, I've been the only person I think at my school that has ever, done a pageant. And an awful lot of the people that I went to school with, like my peers, had never heard of a pageant. But sometimes I don't know about yous, but you can see often in the media that they get quite bad, reviews and press, and it's just not true. You have to try it to actually see what it is. For me, it started off with I couldn't speak up in class. You could not get a word out of me. I was quiet, and my confidence was really at a low. And I started pageants, and they brought my confidence out. I can speak now freely. It gives me such an adrenaline rush, and I'm hooked on them. I love them. But in this country, it's just out of the norm. And I think even in my village where I come from, they didn't know what it was kind of really till I entered this, and now everyone's so supportive and they're really, really interested in it to see what it is. So that's a nice aspect too. But the Irish people themselves are extremely supportive, and they will push you on. And when you're surrounded by good people, it just makes you feel good. But even the Filipino fans are absolutely amazing. They're even supportive. Coming from another country where they don't even know me, the support has been absolutely amazing. So for that, I'm extremely thankful.
I feel you're very proud, no, when other people from other countries supports you, because who are they, no, but they still love you, no, and what you are doing, what you are going to be on your pageant. I mean, your journey on your pageant, they are there, no, for you until the end, no, of the pageant. No, that is the good things, no. But sorry, before I proceed to another question, do you have any other question in your mind? We have a lot of time.
My question for you would be, who is your pageant idol, if you have one, or if not, just your idol?
A pageant idol. Pageant idol is very, very hard to pick because they're so amazing, and everyone who wins them, wins them for a reason. They're very, very good. But it's hard to choose. I think mine would have to be maybe 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗽𝗃. She actually lives not that far away from me, but she was a Miss Universe Ireland back in 2018. But for me, it's just because she was someone local who didn't care what anyone else thought, and she went for it and she got it. And she really inspired me and motivated me that even coming from a small town where you might get people maybe, thinking different of you, to still go for it and not care what they think. And that's why she does inspire me so much. But there's so many amazing pageant queens. It's so hard to just pick the one.
And what are the characteristics that you love most from that person?
What is it? Sorry.
I mean,
sorry,
her characteristic, why you love her?
So she's very relatable. She's just very real. So like where we all live, we all get brought on the farms to go chase sheep, and like it's not something that ever really gets posted on social media. And she would post that shit with her dad with the cows, and I'm like, well, that's something like I used to do. And then she'd be posting about work, or it'd be something about her on a night out. She was just very real and relatable, and I think that's what I loved the most about her. And you could message her and she would message back. Like, she was just very connected to the people around here. She just really related to everyone, and I think that's why I like her so much.
So maybe you will do the same, for you to be connected with your people in Ireland as well.
Yes,
That
I
was
would hope I would do the same for a young girl around here, maybe looking at me. I really, really hope I do.
Anyway, is this your first international pageant that you ever compete, no? As a candidate?
Yes, this will be my first international pageant. I've done other smaller pageants within the country, but never to this caliber. But I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Mm-mm. Oh, how happy are you that you are the representative of your country, Ireland, for Miss Earth 2023?
So I got an absolute shock. I really, really did get such a shock because I was up against 20 other beautiful, amazing girls from all around Ireland, and every single one of them was just going for it. It was such a hard pageant to do. I'm extremely proud though that I was heard that night, because I spoke on the 𝗣𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗽𝗶 crisis to the judges who maybe didn't understand fully what it was or to the level it was at. But I'm really proud that I was able to articulate that to them, and that they could see whatever it was in me to represent Ireland. But I'm extremely proud, and I still don't think it's hit me yet sometimes. I still think I'm up on cloud nine. It's the most amazing feeling ever. I can't even describe it.
How about you, Shauri? Do you have any other questions because we have a lot of time. Actually, our next would be giving a message for her people, to other beauty queens as well. And she will all be going to thank those people who help her as well. No? So do you have any other question in your mind? Just like an example of a pageant question for her to try in order to test, no? Our candidate on Miss Earth 2023.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad you said pageant questions for Mike, because they're always fun to throw around and practice. So my pageant question to you would be, if you had one thing to say to the local government, what would you say and why?
So thank you so much for your question. But what I would say to my local government is to hear us, to fix this 𝗣𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗽𝗶 crisis. We have been fighting for this for about 2 years. We don't have the money to fix these houses. They all need demolished. And the fear is that someday that these houses will crumble on top of people and eventually end up killing somebody someday. But the government at the minute aren't helping us at all. I don't know, can they hear us? But we're going to give it everything. But to the local government, it's look right in front of you with what's happening. We're all struggling, and it's like, why can't you help us, but you'll help other aspects within the country? So it's definitely an issue that I would like to bring forward, and I know all my local people are. We're very, very determined that we are going to get 100% redress for this crisis. But for the local government, it's look at 𝗣𝗍𝗃, you aren't helping us. It's a very, very serious issue, and they just don't understand it.
That's a good answer, no? But also, no, I will not miss this opportunity to ask as well, no? I had plenty of interview from any other beauty queens, from any other pageant, but this one will be, I think it will be a trial for you as well. As we do know that Miss Earth queens are not superhero. Am I correct? Yes. And for you, no, at your own explanation, how would you define Miss Earth by her role?
By her role. So I would describe Miss Earth as somebody who is a people's princess, as they would say. So someone that relates to her fans and her followers, and she's not somebody that's, I don't know what's the way to describe it. We would say like on her high horse. She's very humble to the people, and she understands and she listens. By role, she's someone who fights for what's right. She takes action. She is hands-on. She's someone for young girls to look up to, and for young girls to see, to take action, to be powerful, to be strong, to use your voice. She's someone that I think makes a difference, definitely, with all of her actions, and she's very mindful of those around her. And Miss Earth is somebody that young girls since they were born should be looking up to and reading about and educating them.
Wow. No, I think this is a good answer as well. No, maybe you're ready. No,
I don't know.
for
I still have a lot of
Miss
work to do.
Miss Earth Vietnam. You will encounter a lot of questions through that. You don't have to be afraid or conscious from their question. Anyway, we will give you an opportunity to thanks. But before that, we would like you to ask a simple message for your co-queens all over the world, Miss Earth, for them not to be more inspired on their journey and their advocacy as Miss Earth Queens. Go ahead, Leila.
So my advice and my message is just go for it. We have absolutely nothing to lose. We're here for a reason. We were picked for a reason. We don't need to listen to anyone else around us because after all, we're all Miss Earth delegates. But just go for it. Absolutely smash it. Give it everything that you have. So far, from what I've seen, you're all doing amazing anyways. I can say that I look up to an awful lot of yous. But yeah, just absolutely go for it. We have nothing to lose.
𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗽𝗶, do you have additional question to that?
Let's say my last question to you is, what do you think is the world's biggest climate issue?
So there's an awful lot of issues in the world. So me just picking one, I'm not ignoring the rest of them. But one that I have actually been educating myself on, even though we talked about electric cars, is electricity use. So it's the biggest contributor to climate change and global warming, and it's something that we have to be mindful of. Like, I think we're all guilty of it. Like, we're all on our phones, we're charging them all, everything has moved in the direction of technology, but I think it's maybe a silent one that sometimes we don't really think on it. We think of more the fossil fuels and the more basic stuff, but it's definitely, I think, maybe technology and its harmful uses on the environment is something just to think on. We need to educate ourselves on and find more useful ways of making it and creating it and also using it and collecting it.
That is a good answer as well. No, there's a lot of things that we have to be focused when in terms of climate change. No, that we have a lot of issues regarding climate change, including the global warming, and also the increase of water level. From any other country. That there's a bad effects as well. From other countries who already had small land, so that they've been washed off from the map. Because of the increase of water from the sea. Anyway, before I ask you this question, can I ask, in Ireland, aside from English, what are the other languages you are having, in Ireland?
So we learn Irish. So Irish is a language that is used, but it's not very common. So it would be more commonly used in rural areas. So like Donegal would probably be the biggest region where it's used. But we're taught Irish from a very, very young age, from maybe about 4 to the age of 18. But it's sad to say that it's not used an awful lot by the actual Irish people. Majority of us, we all speak English, but it's one we do learn and we are proud of it. But it's a very hard language to learn and to understand, to comprehend it. But it's a beautiful language. If you ever listen to it, it is absolutely like music to your ears. It is just beautiful, but just a little bit hard to learn.
If you ever send a message from your people, what kind of language will you use? You will use your Irish language or English language?
So I will probably speak English because it's more widely used, but I would love to be able to speak a little bit of Irish, just to introduce people to it, for them to hear it and to get a little bit of a sense of my culture. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful and I can't wait to share it and show you all.
Go ahead. You can send your message from your people through your own language. Go ahead, Leila.
Oh, I only have a few words. I'm not fluent yet. we only learn, it's very technical language to speak it fluently. You have to, study it right up to a very old age. I have a couple of words I can say, basic words, but I just don't use it in my day-to-day life, so you can forget it a little bit easily.
So you will prepare your message in English?
In English, but I would love to introduce a few Irish words.
Okay, go ahead. This is your time, no, to send them a message. No, go ahead.
So I would just like to start by thanking everyone for being so supportive of me. As I said before, I'm so grateful, and it has not hit me yet at all, but I come from a very small town, and it's not often that somebody like me gets picked to do this, and just to get all of your support and your lovely comments and messages, it really does mean an awful lot to get that support. But I'm very, very proud that you can all hear my message about the mica crisis and from where I live, and I hope that during my time as Miss Earth Ireland that we can make a change and we can be heard. And thank you all for getting on board and even educating yourselves. I've been getting messages and comments saying people have been looking into this, and that's absolutely amazing. But just thank you all for the support. Sometimes it's not often that maybe you might not get a support in doing something different, but just thank you all so much for supporting me.
Do you have special people to thank to as well? Your national director?
Yes, so I would like to start off by thanking Alan and Dennis, who are the directors of Miss Earth Ireland. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had this opportunity, and they push me and they motivate me, and they're absolutely amazing support. If I ever need anything, they're always there. I just couldn't have asked for two better people, to run this pageant and be with me on this journey. Also to Mum and Dad. Mum entered me in my first pageant, didn't tell me, but worked out to be the best thing she ever did for me. She gave me that little push. To my boyfriend, Shay, he's been with me through everything. He's now a pageant boyfriend, as you would say. He now takes photos, he's into his style, he knows everything now. But as well to everyone in my local village, I've been inundated with the messages of support, and it's nice knowing that you are all pushing me and you're with me in this, because it's not normal. It's not a normal thing to do around here, but just thank you everyone for the support, and to all of the fans too. I see all of your messages, all of your comments. It doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you.
Actually, you can share this live after. Actually, earlier I sent you the link for you to share, but this is okay, so that they can watch later, because maybe they are so busy in their work. I think everybody in Ireland are busy for their work.
They're working now. There's work time.
Anyway, Sh`ry, do you have a message also? Meron ka bang gusto pasalamat? I would like to thanks to. Before you do that, I would just to say hi to your mom. Hi, Mommy ni Sh`ry. I know she was listening and watching as well. Go ahead, Sh`ry.
Yeah, I just want to first of all give thanks to Bill Mike for the opportunity, and also for having Layla on here. It was awesome to hear where you're coming from and where your passion stems from as well, and wish you the best. I'd also like to thank my team who also supported me during Miss Earth Philippines, Nella Moore, and also the directors of Miss Earth Philippines, Lorraine, also Ate Reina, and Ate Arena as well. Just all the team behind Carousel. You all are very supportive, and once again, thank you.
First, I would like to thank Layla for giving us opportunity to learn or to know you better, not only your country but you as a candidate of Miss Earth, 2023, and we're very glad to know you more. And your people as well, and what's happening in your country, the best of your country. This is a good thing to promote tourism as well, not only tackling issue about environment, but also promoting everybody's country, That's a good thing. I would like to thank you for giving us opportunity to know you and your country as well. Thank you very much. And also to Sh`ry, it will not be happen without Sh`ry, because she is my co-host to ask questions, and also she is very fluent in English, and I'm very, very glad that she is, and sometimes, no, I'm very honest with you guys when you're talking, both of you, you're talking fast while me listening loading on my head. And then you are done and still I'm still no in my head loading. Oh my gosh, I'm slow. Too slow. Anyway, thank you very much, Leila. Thank you very much, Shauri. I hope we will see you again, Shauri, and the best luck of you, no, on Miss Earth 2023. I hope to see you in Thailand. I mean Vietnam when we go there as well. Thank you very much, Leila.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much to all the people of Ireland. Thank you very much, Shauri, and the Australian people. Thank you very much. See you again on Monday at 10 to 11 p.m. Thank you very much, and goodbye, and good night, and good afternoon to Ireland people. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night, Shari.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
Pog.
Thank you.
The views and comments of the hosts and guests are not necessarily those